Well, hello and welcome to the Scale Smart system. I'm really pleased that you've joined me today for this webinar. It's a growth strategy webinar to help you in your business. So I know that time is precious, and we will kick things off and let people join or watch the recording if they've not been able to make it live now. So I just wanted to share some of the work that we've been doing, helping people grow their business. And hi Martin, thanks for joining. And scale throughout uncertain times. So without further ado, let's kick into it. I'm really excited to have you here, whether you're feeling a little bit stuck or just want to grow without adding any more chaos. You're in the right place. And today's session, we're going to help you build a simple, sustainable growth strategy that will then in turn increase your revenue without adding more hours or the hustle, and reconnect with your bigger vision for your business. So we'll just go through what's going to be covered today. I don't want to take up the full hour. We're all really busy, and it's a favourite quote of mine from founder of Gambit, Martin, who always says talk is cheap, but actually it's really expensive because there's money to be made in our businesses. So quick welcome from me coming right up, and then we're going into the problem and the growth myth, what the Scale Smart framework looks like and how to do that for your own business, the application of that and the next steps, and where Gambit can help you going forward from here. So welcome. Let's scale smart in 2025. Now, at the start of this year, I set a word of the year to be thrive. For me personally, in my personal development journey, and my professional development journey, and it also rhymes with 2025. So yes, you're in the right place. This is your year to thrive and start scaling smart. So here's what I see a lot of amazing business owners, and they're feeling really maxed out already this year. We've just finished Q1 going into Q2, and it's about, they're feeling like they're working harder, but they're not necessarily seeing that return. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the world, and government and taxes and things to navigate in your own business. But the growth, feeling out of reach, it's not an uncommon thing, and people, aren't on their own with this. And it can be frustrating, we've been there as a business owner. So the problem is most growth strategies focus on doing more, but more isn't better, especially if it's not aligned. So the timing couldn't be more perfect to throw you into Q2 and get you accelerated on your path to success. So we're going to hopefully walk away from this with some practical tools to help you grow without more work and stress, which we love seeing business owners thrive through our programs, helping them come away with more clarity, a clear strategy, and more importantly, a roadmap, and they can see their path of how they're going to get to what they want to achieve in the year ahead. So who am I, and why the hell do I have the right to sit here and tell you about business strategy today? Well, not the right, as it may be, but a little bit of background about me, where I've come from, and my corporate career for Allied London in the property sector was all based around marketing events and creating a destination that wasn't even built yet and putting that on the map. We got really good at doing that and got asked to do that for other developers and councils up and down the country. I was then headhunted by Manchester City Football Club and to do something very similar for them in their hospitality and special events division. So launching things like dinners in the changing rooms that clubs hadn't done before. After I had my first child, who's going to be 10 next year, I don't know where all this time's gone, I set up my own business, I didn't want to go back to corporate. I wanted to take what I'd known from big brands, big budgets, big operations, global reaches into the SME culture that is the backbone of the UK. Small businesses make up most of our GDP in the UK, and they are absolutely well within the rights to thrive as big brands do. To give business owners the life that they want to lead. So that's why Gambit was born, as a blend of a consultancy and an agency to help business owners grow their business to a point where they can exit. So weaving in together the strategy, the sales, marketing, the systems within the business to help it operate and grow, free up business owners' time to allow you to do what you want to do on that growth journey. And we have become, as Gambit, a growth partner for ambitious businesses. So hands-on consultancy, people will actually come in and do projects and help you where you've not got the time, capacity, or the knowledge to do it. We don't just advise, we embed ourselves within the business to help you scale, and this is the Scale Smart framework. And throughout business, we've been told that hustle leads to success, and actually it just leads to burnout. I've been there in corporate, and I've been there in my own business. What we really care about is helping business owners thrive within themselves to help their business thrive even more. And what really creates growth is the alignment between your purpose, your processes, and the people in the business. And that's what the Scale Smart framework is designed to do. So just going into the growth myth and why growth feels hard right now. We're often told, how are you feeling? I'm busy. That's a default reaction, but busy isn't always productive, and it isn't always profitable. So just going back to that burnout and where we don't want to see business falling into the trap of. Growth often feels like a lot more work, and yes, it can be a lot more work, but it's about using those systems and strategies to automate, to bring in tools like AI, to use them smart within your business to help you and free you up from all of those burdens that you face. And the third one, and this sort of ineffective action that happens a lot with businesses, is that they are stuck working in the business, not on the business. They're stuck in that delivery. They can't pull themselves out. They can't find that extraction piece to move away and help bring them into more of the growth phase with other people doing the right things at the right time in the right place for the business. So more isn't just the answer. It's a hustle trap. It's burnout cycles. It's misalignment. And this is why a lot of businesses, small businesses, startup businesses, fail within the first 3 to 5 years. It's because they're not seeing the growth that they want or deserve. And it gets too hard, too frustrating, and people give up. However, the Scale Smart framework is a 3-part model that helps businesses grow with intention, consistency, and scalability. And it's made up of 3 key areas, which form 12 steps in how a business will go through a growth journey. And when people are struggling to scale and to grow, it's something rooted in the strategy that needs to be readdressed. And what we've found with businesses on their journeys that we've helped is that they've lost sight of their part 1, their vision, mission, values, which makes up the purpose, their drive, their why, and what they're doing. Then it's the sales, marketing, and systems. This is the engine that keeps everything running, that goes forward faster. And then peeling back into the circle is the core, which is the culture, the organization, the resources, and the most important thing, the execution, how things are getting done, how quickly they can get done, who they're getting done by, the right people being responsible for those areas. So if you get all of those right, your business starts to run in harmony. And we like looking at businesses from a holistic approach. So making sure that everybody in the business understands part one, the vision, the mission, the values, where they're going, where they're adding their value to feel satisfied, creating amazing experiences and destinations, whether it's a physical business or a service business online, in the sales marketing systems engine, and then routing everything back into the core with the culture, the organization, the resources, and the execution across the business. So it starts with intention, and strategy is only powerful if it's intentional. So before we unpack each part of the framework, I want you to think throughout this webinar. I don't just, there will be some interaction in a little bit, and I just want to kind of get your brains whirring a little bit about, what am I doing in my business right now? Why am I doing it? Where am I focusing all of my energy on? And when do key actions happen, or when are they not happening? And how is the business supporting me, or is it stressing me out? And these questions guide your thinking as we go. So it's all rooted in this vision, mission, and values, the purpose, why you're existing, what is that vision. And small businesses or SMEs quite often miss this part out. They know what they want to create, but they don't think that, Nike can have this big vision. But we need to think like these big household names that have big, bold visions to create the culture, the core in the business that helps emulate what we want to do and get people working and driving forward to help that growth. So essentially, how are the systems enabling the scale? Where should we be putting our energy? When will the strategic milestones be achieved? And why does your business exist, and what exactly does it do? This is all kind of inner work, I guess, on the business, if you're looking at the business as a person, and helping that business's personality grow and flourish and thrive. So on the part one, and building your vision, mission, and values, this is kind of like your North Star. This is where you're headed. You look up and let this be your guide. And your vision is, what are you working towards? Your mission being, what do you do to bring that to life? And your values, what are you standing for, and what do you stand by? And when everything that you're creating in the business is rooted in the vision, mission, and values, you're anchored in all of this, the business will feel more aligned, and it'll be really, really easy to make decisions as you scale and grow. Because this is another thing that holds business owners back, is we're bombarded with hundreds of thousands of bits of information a day, and our thoughts and decisions. And when something sits with our vision and mission and values in the business, and it's really easy to see, is that decision going to push me forward towards growth, or is it going to hold me back? So then we're going to create consistent momentum with the sales, marketing, and systems. And this is how you drive the growth. Your sales generate the revenue. Your marketing attracts your audience, and the systems help you deliver seamlessly and consistently. And when these all work together, you stop relying on short bursts or feast and famine cycles, and you start creating repeatable success in the business. Then the third part of the strategy looks at the growth and the structure, the culture in the organization, what this feels like inside your business, what organization roles are set out, the team, is there clarity, and the resources, how are you using your time, money, and tools wisely. And that can, that then weaves back into a lot of the sales, marketing, and systems to make sure they're all working harmoniously. And the execution is a really, really key part of this is how work gets done, when it gets delivered, and how it is improved. At the end of this, I'll probably ask you for a little bit of feedback, and that is constantly something that we do, and all touch points of businesses that we work with, and get them to do that with their customers to make sure that they're getting that feedback loop and they can constantly improve, not only with customers but within staff internally. So you're improving systems and process, and it helps create a lot less friction in the growth journey. And what scaling smart looks like in practice: before, it's overwhelm, it's reactive, you're doing the day-to-day, you're stuck in the do, in the weeds, you're working harder, and you can't see a path out until you take a step back, you pause, you zoom out, you look at the strategy in those 3 areas that we've talked about today, and feel aligned and grow sustainably with a roadmap. You can see the path to get there, and then start seeing the results. We've done this with brands from Spinning Fields in Manchester, Sherwin-Williams, Allied London, Allied Global Engineering, White Label Hospitality, and so many different businesses, all the way through from tech, energy, healthcare, services, products, you name it. We've talked to hundreds of businesses and helped them with their strategy to grow on numerous different scales. And the end goal with that, with the businesses, and what we always look at, is helping business owners say, where do we want to get to? What do we want to achieve? Do I want to sell this business in 5 years, or do I want to build a legacy? What is the purpose? So it all goes full circle. And part of that is a mindset, stepping into this scale smart mindset. It's not working harder. It can be frustrating when you're hitting those roadblocks and bottlenecks, and the realignment with the vision, mission, values roots everything in the core to help you identify the gaps, remember your purpose, your direction, get you fired up about your business again, or excited about new opportunities you weren't able to spot before. And then working on the SMS, the sales marketing systems, on trying to drive consistent momentum through repeatable processes that maybe weren't in place, maybe never thought of, maybe just weren't working as well as they could have done. And it's just about little tweaks and cogs in the engine to drive growth forward. So I've talked for 20 minutes and I would like some interaction. I don't like monologuing. But going back to those questions I asked before about, why are you doing this? Are there any aha moments? What's landed with you from today's session? Where are you feeling stuck specifically? And what is your most valuable takeaway? If you want to pop that in the chat, I can pick up some of the questions that we've talked about, because this isn't something that is, each area that I've talked about in this webinar is a webinar in itself. There's so many details. If you take marketing, for example, there's digital marketing, and there's multiple different facets of marketing in that in itself that we could do a webinar on. I think today is about reigniting that passion and that insight into the business of how you can scale and what is possible. And thank you for your comment. I think realigning your why is something I have needed to hear. And that can change over time, and I think that's important to understand in a business as well. Is businesses can go through evolutions, they can go through different iterations and grow and pivot COVID taught us that with having to flip everything from being in physical offices to doing everything online. Businesses that operated in certain ways would change. So I think understanding your why and rooting and going back to these vision, missions and values that are set are a key to do in the business, at points throughout the year, and definitely at each year as you're going into the next year and next growth and next set of goals. And making something simple to understand. Business is hard. Having a process is key. OG Aesthetics, thank you. I feel this constantly pushing and feeling like I'm not always seeing the outcome I want. And it's really hard. And I think a great example of not seeing outcomes we want is social media. So we start off with a strategy for social media. We'll post, we'll do like 5 posts a week, and we'll get all excited, and then we don't see any results. So we stop posting. And then prime example of this, I posted a video about 6 months ago. I am still getting likes on it now. It's one of my most engaged videos I've done in a long time. But in that time, I've not seen results. As we're in this now, one click of a button, everything happens so fast. Kids have no patience anymore. We want to see we want the outcomes because we're used to an instant society in some things, and actually in businesses it can take 8 years for an overnight success to happen. Nothing is an overnight success, but where maybe where we're pushing, we need to pull back and look at some other things, and asking what are the outcomes? Are they realistic? Are expectations too high? Do we need to adjust, or is it a message that's not landing with somebody quite right? Is it something in what we're saying? I think there's I think that in that there's the not giving up. It's the consistency and persistency that it takes to push a business forward and to get to those growth and outcomes that you want to do, or stepping back and going, okay, this I'm doing the same thing over and over and it's not getting the result. Do we need to change tact? Thank you, Martin. I think the other thing is making big jumps and not breaking down the outcomes we want attainable. So yeah, I really appreciate those, and I'm glad that hopefully something I've said on this has landed with you. And throughout the Scale Smart, I wanted to offer something for people to take away, and something that people can follow up with on this, and offer a 30-minute strategy call. So you can feel free, if you are able, if you're watching this on a laptop, you can take a screenshot of the QR code and it'll take you to a booking link to book a call with me. We'll do a 30-minute strat call on your business one-to-one. I will send you a growth blueprint following that strategy call with a personalized action plan. That is only available to 5 people. Now, I had 50 odd people registered for this webinar, and not many people have actually made it live today. So I'm really grateful for those who have. I know a lot of people wanted to view the replay, so I will only have 5 sessions for this, and they are tagged in a link. So if you don't get a session, please don't be disappointed, because I will be running more webinars in the future. And a bit of a no-brainer offer is some support for business owners. We offer coaching and guidance, strategy days, 100-day sprints, or 12-month business transformations for all different sizes of businesses throughout their journey. So let's grow together. Get your one-to-one call booked in using the QR code, and drop me your email in the chat for the replay. If you registered on LinkedIn, I'll drop you a message to be able to send you the replay. And if you would like to explore anything else about the Scale Smart framework, we're really passionate about partnering with ambitious businesses like yours to achieve sustainable growth and meaningful impact. So So yes, we can do that. And also on gambit.international, which is our URL, there are lots of free resources. So feel free to take advantage of those. So I'm just going to put the QR code back on there. So yes, I can send you a link, Olivia. I will do that. I've got your email from the chat above. Thank you. So I will do that in a moment. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I did say it was going to be 60 minutes. That seems to have gone really, really quickly. But I know that, 60 minutes is a lot of time out of our day as a business owner. And I don't want to waste your time. I want you to get high impact, high value as quickly as possible, and hopefully feel energized for the rest of your day and week, and know that I'm here if you've got any questions or want to talk to me again. And I will really look forward to doing some other follow-up webinars on different areas of this growth strategy to support business owners like you that have joined today. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Olivia. Bye.
Bye.